Hello and welcome to update 0.14, the long-awaited update. We've been waiting for a while, but they did not disappoint. I'm very pleased with a lot of the changes they made, and they added a lot of new features, ones that people have been requesting for quite a while now. Now, I'm going to post the link to the full changelog in the description below in case you want to see literally every single small detail, but I will go over all the major changes in this video and how some of them affect things, so you get a little bit of analysis with it. You're not because you can just go to the changelog for that. So let's get right into it. Let's start off with world generation has been totally revamped. Now biomes finally actually spawn in little biomes next to each other. No longer is it just islands of different biomes. You actually get these cool areas right here, and they have a lot of new templates. Donut template, it's just a circle. This one's pretty cool. It's called the Chaos Pearl. As you can see, they have added 4 entirely new biomes. I'm going to go over them one by one. First off, we have the crystal biome filled with little crystal creatures. There's a little crystal sword right there and a little crystal man. They are actually hostile to anyone but the dwarves. As you can see, the dwarves can live perfectly fine here, and there also is a lot more minerals apparently here. Definitely a great place to live for the dwarves. Next, we have the lemon biome, which is filled with these little lemon trees and cute little lemon guys who are all paranoid. I don't know if there's any secret little effect that this biome has or anything like that yet, but with the food changes they had, I believe it should have some cool effects, which I will cover later on in the video. Next, we have the arcane desert. I never really thought about it, but we never actually had a desert biome. Like, it was just sand. Now we actually do. It's called the arcane desert, and it grows with other biomes as well. The desert biome spawns little cat guys, and it should spawn snakes as well. There we go, some snakes, and it grows trees naturally and stuff like that. Has minerals and stuff. It's pretty good. And then finally we have the candy biome. So this little wonderland is filled with lollipop trees, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, and little gumdrops things, little bushes, I don't know. They also have little gummy bears, and those little gummy bears, they eat human flesh. So this is one of those nice on the outside, will literally murder you on the inside. The cookie man will eat your flesh, so watch out for that. So that wraps up the new biomes. They'll still kind of come in later in the video just because they have some cool effects with food. Next up, you probably saw it on the tab when I was showing you those guys. If we click on this dwarf here, there is now a trait tab, which you can now finally select traits. No mods needed any longer. Now, you do have to unlock all the traits, and you unlock them by either A, unlocking achievements, or B, the main way, you spot the trait in the wild. Now, some are only exclusive to achievements, but a majority of them can just be unlocked by finding the trait in the wild. But some of the more OP traits, like a mortal trait, is locked behind some achievements, which are kind of hard to get. So I'm going to create a guide actually in another video. Some of them are kind of complex and take a while, so I can't really put that in this update video. Now, something funny to note, if they have the unlucky trait, there's actually a small chance for a meteorite to fall on top of their face. Now, this meteorite only happens if natural disasters is turned on, but also natural disasters is now on by default. So if you don't want that on, remember to change it off when you start your world. Meteors actually deal more damage now, but they don't destroy land the same way, and they have a chance to spawn adamantine rocks on the ground, which is the strongest mineral in the game. Worldbox has also finally added kingdom customization. You can click on your favorite kingdom, whatever kingdom you like, and finally give them the exact flag you want, or you can hit the random button, and you can give them whatever color you'd like as well, and as you can see, it just changes perfectly to whatever you want. It's really nice, and they added a lot more colors to the game as well, so your game should be pretty pretty. Also, if we look on the kingdom tab, you can now tell what race each kingdom is just by their little icon next to it, their name. They have now changed. Windmills actually are part of the game now. Like, they used to be just a decoration, but they increased the amount of food gained, and the little farm is planted around it. Also, the way housing works is different. So now housing will not just be super cluttered and just completely, boxes and stuff like that and just take over the entire world. Now housing and zoning is limited by the extra small buildings they have, which, like that statue, it increases zoning by a little bit so they can, the village can have control over more area, things of that nature. You'll see little cities or towns pop up around wells, which is really cool. And at least there's some interesting developments that look very nice and a lot more natural. They've also added some additional quality of life changes to combat and reworked a little bit of the systems of how it works. If we go ahead and make this Dwarven city rebel, you will see interesting UI things pop up, or just little, I don't know what you call them, little animations, indicators, whatever you want to say. Also, when you hover over a kingdom, you can now see every single kingdom they're at war with, it will flash red. As you can see, there's a little battle indicator here, so when you're zoomed out, you can tell what's going on in your world without having to zoom all the way in. Also, banner leaders will indicate what village they're going to. There'll be a little line, and it will point to whatever village. And village leaders can now choose with their different armies, different areas to go to. So no longer will the entire nation's army go to one spot, one single area. They can split it up if they want to, enable a lot of different tactics. Next, let's go over the mineral changes. So they completely reworked how minerals and metals work again, and I actually kind of really like the system they use now. So they have finally separated all the metals out into different ores. Ores are no longer infinite, but they do naturally spawn in different biomes, and those different biomes have increased chances for separate metals. So some nations will, if in one biome, will be rich in this certain metal, but they might be lacking in another metal, stuff like that. They did group all the common metals together just for basic supplies. I believe iron, copper, bronze, I think maybe some other metals are kind of grouped in there that they can all mine at once. Also, mines have been reworked. Used to, everyone, their grandma, their grandson would be in the mine slaving away. No longer. Only 3 max per, but what they do instead of, mining in the mine, they actually push minerals up to the surface to give their place extra minerals, which is very handy. Basically just brings up what was happening below ground up to the surface. But coming along with these mineral changes actually is some small reworks to just some small buffs to dwarves that may have some large impacts. And I think dwarves are going to be OP this patch. Dwarves have been the laughingstock for a long time now. I don't know if they've ever really won any battles I've done on the channel. Maybe like one time. They always just lose to like orcs or something. But now they are a force to be reckoned with. So some races, like orcs, they spawn with natural regeneration. Elves, they're peaceful, they don't get attacked by wild animals. The light-footed. The dwarves, they have the miner trait, which increases chances to get gems from mine. Now, not only does it do that, but it also adds the chance for minerals to pop up. In the first place, they're just going to be overloaded with metal and then use that overloaded metal to get even more metal, and they're going to be equipped out the wazoo because they also reworked how weapons are crafted. Weapons and armor, they no longer take gold, but they take each of the metals separately. So it is a lot easier for blacksmiths to produce stuff not limited by gold. Army should be a lot more equipped. Also, just throw in there, dwarves, they have a base of 8% armor now, which is actually quite a lot. If we go over to the humans over here, they actually have 0% armor. So that actually gives them a pretty large buff in the early game. And not only that, but their life expectancy has been increased, which when you have a high life expectancy, you get some pretty OP guys. Because they also changed how food works. Food actually can now give traits. That's what I was saying earlier about the biomes affect food. So I believe the lemon biome, they can get lemons. Each of these does different stuff. I can't go over them all. There's just so many. I know the lemons, I believe, have a chance to give you toughness or something. It's a small chance, but over a long life, the traits do add up. So you'll see people with a lot of traits coming out, especially if they're immortal. I know crystal salts have a chance to either make you like strong-minded or just completely mad. Let's also go over the weapon changes, gear changes. Besides the price, they have reworked how you can actually see legendary stuff now. You can see who forged it, where it was forged from, and the stats it gives are a lot clearer. And it should really help a lot of the lore. So I think gear is going to be even stronger. So all of that kind of adds up. The dwarves are going to be good at getting gear. They're going to live longer lives, get more traits just from eating food, and they have more armor naturally, so their early game, their weakest point is a lot better. I've actually seen them fight orcs and win. Like they just fight like orcs with regeneration. They can just 1v1 them early game because the orcs only have 4% armor. They have double their armor, which it doesn't seem like a lot, but in early game battles with sticks, it affects a lot of things. Now let's also go over some of the more miscellaneous changes. They still affect the game a lot, but I can't really put them in any category like food or something like that. Immortal beings who are kings of countries now become corrupted. They will turn more evil as time passes on. If they're in the king position, try to take over the world. They turn militaristic and their diplomatic stance. Be careful of your beloved immortal kings that you've had for generations. They might slowly turn on your world. Also, they have fixed the divine light. It now affects people inside buildings. And also, divine light does kill mush guys as well. So we can actually kill them all and cure everyone who are in houses. So you can finally get rid of the mush in your world. It no longer is just there infinitely. There's nothing you can do because they hide out in houses. That was a big issue. Small little change at the beginning. War is less likely to break out. Another thing that helps the dwarves. Also, actually kind of a big change that might kind of go unnoticed if you aren't paying attention, but it affects a lot of the game. So used to, when you're on a higher speed, and I mean, I always play on a higher speed because, you know, I like things to go fast. Like it can be a little slow at times. But used to, like when you drop stuff, like let's say this rain, right? It used to be super slow. It used to be still in 1 times, but now it is, all the drops are sped up, so they actually affect. But not only that, but people used to move. They used to be limited to 1 tile only. So even though they were in 5 times, they could still only move 1 tile at a time. It would limit their speed, so they actually couldn't go 5 times. So they'd be 1 time slow, but aging 5 times as fast. So now they can actually move faster. Like, I look at them zoom. Like, that did not used to be that way before. It used to be a lot slower still at 5 times. Also, a little thing for the orcs now. Funny thing, if you didn't know, the orcs could actually get infinite XP if there was a beehive near their village. Because orcs, they automatically attack any creature, like just any passive. It could be your sheep, bro. It could just be a sheep and they just murder it just because. They would actually murder bees, but they would not kill beehives. So the beehives would continuously spawn bees, which the orcs would just kill over and over again, essentially giving them infinite XP. But now they finally kill the beehives, so that has been fixed and it's no longer an issue. And to close it out, we will end with the debug menu. It's just a lot easier to read, and they added a lot more things. So a lot of this stuff is just for visuals. If we go down here, it can display like certain places, you know, just certain little things that are in the code. You don't really need them, but the main thing you're going to be looking at is the civ cheats, besides the stereotypical fast spawn and sonic speed that we all know and love. So now you can see these civ cheats. You can have fast cultures, city fast construction, fast upgrades, unlimited houses, not, you know, locked by zones, units always fast, city fast pop growth. You can change all of that. You can turn it all on if you want. If you don't like how slow cultures develop, you can just turn that on. Don't need to worry about it. If you do use the debug menu, expect some weird interactions, some weird behavior with the AI, just because, I mean, it grows so fast and stuff like that. It just doesn't really work well. Just do it at your own discretion. You're not really going to use anything else unless you just like if you like little graphics, like, you know, that can show plague inflection, stuff like that. I don't know what this button does, don't press it. Now at the bottom here, I would just completely stay away from. There's really nothing down here that you would probably want, and it could severely just break your game. So as you can see, yeah, it literally says it in the description. So I would just not touch that stuff and just stick to the civ cheats and fast spawn sonic speed. That's mainly what I'm gonna use. Thank you for watching. I hope you learned something. I hope that was comprehensive. I could talk a lot more. You know, there's a lot of interactions that the doors are gonna be broken. I really think so, which will be a nice change. So if you enjoyed the video, learned something, if I missed something, comment, rage at me, do something. Because not only does it let you vent a little bit, you know, it gives me some interaction on the video, so appreciate that. Love, take care, I'll see you next time. Peace.